Hello everybody, my name is Ilse and I'm coming at you from hobbykr.com to discuss another topic about Korean anime. So today I wanted to make a video about setting the record straight about anime in Korea because I see a lot, I meet a lot of people who like anime, who come to Korea, expats, foreigners, blah blah blah, who don't really know what Korean anime culture is like. I've seen a lot of the similar questions online, so I thought I would, take what I know and hopefully give knowledge to someone. I want to apologize for the light. I know it's not good, but I don't really have any other area to film or any other light to use, so bear with me. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions in my computer over there, so sorry if I look over here. And it's kind of like the main questions that I see and that I think would be most beneficial for people to know. Before I begin, I do really want to stress that I obviously am not Korean. I'm only, Mexican girl living in Seoul. That is my point of view, that is my perspective, and I cannot speak for Korean people in any way, nor can I speak for their tastes, etc, etc. So all the opinions here and things that I'm gonna say are just from what I understand and what I've experienced about how anime culture happens here. Okay, so the first question is, do Koreans like anime / is anime popular in Korea? I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, but anime isn't a thing in Korea, or Korean people don't like anime. And I would say that from what I've seen and from what I've spoken about with people and just living here in general, that is not true. I would say that anime is quite popular here, especially obviously amongst young people. I think there's many characters who are very popular. There's many series that are really popular. The latest Detective Conan movie, Zero the Enforcer, literally sold all its tickets out before it came out. That's how popular it is. So I would definitely say that anime is quite popular here. And yeah, I think there's this, not misconception, but this thought that a lot of people wouldn't like anime because it's, Japanese media and the history of colonialism with Korea. And well, that certainly holds true, and it must hold true for a lot of people. I would say that for the most part, people do consume it as media. And I wouldn't, I would never say oh, anime isn't a thing here. I would never say that. There's a guy who takes the bus at a similar time as me, and he's always watching anime on his phone. That kind of thing. There's always people watching anime in the subway, that kind of thing. Okay, so the second question that I feel is discussed a lot is there Korean anime, or a Korean version of anime? And yes, there is what you would consider Korean anime, which I guess would be animations made in Korea in the style that we would identify as anime. Yes, it exists. Obviously, Korea has a very strong animation industry. They have their own style, they have their own things that they do, so there's definitely Korean animation that is truly Korean style 100%. Are there animations that, have the same style as anime? Yes. Quite a few. I actually made an article about one of them this past Monday about animation for the L-Sword game, which is true super anime style. There is, some types of visual difference in kind of animation and voice acting and stuff, but there's definitely a lot of options, and I think it's just a medium that's gonna keep growing and growing, because I feel people underestimate how big a role Korean animation companies play in Japanese animation. If you ever see the credits of anime, or see which productions helped make it, etc., I would say 70% of animes that people consume from Japan have had a Korean production company help in some way. Doctor Movie, which I would say is like one of the biggest studios here. Yeah, one of the biggest studios here. I just wanted to pull up like a list and kind of like the animations that they've taken part in. So just to name a few, you know, they've helped animate Bleach, they've helped animate Blood Plus, Cardcaptor Sakura movies, Chobits, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, like Full Metal Alchemist, Gantz, Hunter x Hunter, Hellsing. Like, they've played a big part in it. So I think a lot of people aren't aware that like production companies are a big part of Japanese anime. So yeah, of course Korea can like animate its own stuff. And I feel like a lot of people, Korean anime gets a bad rep because people have said that like the production, I've read some comments where like people say the production is not that good. And honestly, like, these are the people animating the Japanese anime that we like, in a lot of senses. Like, they participate in it, so no, of course they can produce quality animations. And again, I mentioned Elsword. I think that's like a really, you know, good example of that, because it's really good quality. Another question that I hear a lot is there Japanese anime dubbed in Korean? Because I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of people study Japanese through anime, so a lot of people want to know, like, can I study Korean through anime? Just because it's like, you know, for some people it's easier to learn a language by watching anime. And yes, there's a lot of anime dubbed to Korean. I would say most of it, if not all, doesn't have English subtitles, so you wouldn't like go and like watch it and then study with it, but you could very, very easily just like play the Korean dubbed version and then play the subtitles of the Japanese version at the same time, and it would be like, you know, super useful. But yeah, definitely have options for that. And most anime channels on TV, because there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but like you can watch anime on TV here, like channels like Animax. A lot of the animes are dubbed. Next, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't find, like, I don't want to go to Korea because I can't find merch. I don't want to go to Korea because I want to go to Japan because I like anime. That's the only reason, blah, blah, blah. You can find so much anime merch in Korea. So much. Like, there's many, many stores. Obviously, most of them are in Seoul, but like all over Korea, you can find stuff. And they have a lot of things and pretty much the same merch that they have in Japan, and for pretty much the same price in won, obviously. So there's a lot of options. I've written about a few in hobbycare.com. I'm going to keep writing about them, but really there's a lot of places where you can get stuff. Even the gachapon is like up to date most of the times. Ichiban Kuji is up to date. Not everything that is released in Japan comes to Korea, but like, believe me, there's a lot. So absolute myth that you can't like buy stuff here. Also on that same note, like a lot of people seem to think that there's no conventions or like cosplaying here, and that's not true. I would say that it's definitely a big thing. It's definitely a big hobby. Comic-Con happened a few months ago, and obviously that's not like anime related, but the cosplay was like mostly anime, and it was mostly like Korean cosplayers who did like an amazing job. There's a thing called Comic World, which is like this giant artist alley, and like a big part of that event is cosplay. There's a lot of really, really big Korean cosplayers, and there's a lot of conventions. If you check the events calendar in hobbycare.com, you can see what's left for the rest of the year. We're gonna have more Comic World. There's an anime games festival coming up. There's a gaming convention that's bound to have like some anime aspect to it. So definitely a lot of places where you can take out, like carry out your hobby, etc., etc. Another big question that I feel people have is, can I stream anime in Korea? And yes, the answer is totally yes. Crunchyroll works here. The selection is not great. Like, it's definitely not what I would assume you see in the States. It's not what you see in Canada. I would say it's like maybe 30% of what they offer. But they have it, and you know, it's HD. They have some simulcast, but it's not impressive. Like, they don't have Attack on Titan. They don't have, you know, any of the stuff that is like hot right now. But they did Darling in the Franxx. simulcast. So it exists. I'm subscribed to Crunchyroll. Like sometimes they do have some stuff that I want to watch, so it's nice to have the option to watch in HD. Funimation does not work here, and Netflix also works here. Again, the selection is not very ideal. And something that I did notice about Netflix is that you, a lot of the videos are only in Korean or in Japanese. Like they only have Korean subtitles. They don't have English subtitles. I know Violet Evergarden had English subtitles, but I saw a lot of titles that didn't have English subtitles, so that might be an issue. I wrote about a company called Laugh-Tell, which is a Korean streaming service where you either get a membership or you can pay per episode. They have Korean dubbed, and they have, you know, all the new series. Like they have current stuff, super big catalog. They even have like a recommendation service. Again, not subbed. I think it's in their plans for the future, but as for now, it's not available subbed, unfortunately. And also Anaplus TV has streaming, but there's no English subtitles, and you also have to get through that like Korean citizen authentication thing that like never works. If you live in Korea, you know what I'm talking about. It's really weird. You have to like authenticate your like your phone number and stuff, but it never goes through. Like it's very strange. Lastly, this is a question that I saw in the Anime in Korea Reddit. You can go there. It's awesome. Like if you guys want to discuss anything, ask any questions, make a comment, rant, whatever, please go to the Reddit. It's a really good way to build a community. Are there any anime blogs or websites like specifically in Korean by Korean people? I haven't been able to find anything that is strictly anime. There's a lot of gaming websites because that's huge here. You know, there's news and like articles that are made public sometimes, but I haven't been able to find anything like Anime News Network or something like that in Korean. The only blog I know is hobbykara.com, which is, you know, I'm taking the time to like gather everything that I see. Like if I see a neighbor cafe, if I see events, etc., like I'm putting in the work to translate it into English and, you know, give the information as best I can. But I don't know like of any specific websites in Korea that focus on anime, and I've searched a lot and I don't think it exists. But if it does, please leave the link down below. There's also like a question if there are any people on YouTube that talk about anime, because that's pretty, you know, I think like a lot of anime YouTubers have blown up in the last few months. There is, let me look for the name, a channel called Anytoku. I don't know if that's meant to be talk, but I'll leave the name here. And he does like reviews and like think pieces, like video think pieces. He has a fairly large following, 120k subscribers. So if that's something you were looking for, like an anime blogger, that's available. Again, his stuff is in Korean and it doesn't have English subtitles. So if you're a Korean speaker though, that's great. Okay guys, well I hope I answered some questions, answered some doubts. If I didn't, please leave a comment below or go to the Anime in Korea subreddit where I would be delighted to answer that question, and that way other people can see it as well. And if you haven't, please visit hobbykr.com, your #1 source for news and information about anime and Gunpla in South Korea. I am trying my best to like show events and stuff that is happening outside of Seoul. I live in Seoul, so that's what I mainly see, but I'm really trying to put more stuff that is happening outside. I've been successful this month, I think, but I am trying my hardest to give like an all-encompassing view. Y la página también está disponible en español. Si hay fanáticos del anime en Corea que hablen español o tengan que leer en español, también los artículos están en español ahí, así que por favor echen un vistazo. Igual el link es hobbykr.com. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. If you have any requests or something that you're interested in seeing about anime in Korea, maybe like have a gachapon day, or like stroll around like a store, or maybe like a cafe or something like that, please let me know in the comments below. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!